This is Visitor's Book, and I'm Maija, your host and a journalist from Finland. In this program, I'm going to be meeting with foreigners visiting Pakistan and diplomats living here, and we're going to be going to some of their favorite places in the city. So today, we're here at these wonderful stables to meet with Lashley Pulsipher, the Chief Marketing Officer for the Hashoo Group. She's been here in Islamabad for 2 years now, so let's see what she has to say. Hey, Lashley.
Hi.
Wow, what a beautiful horse. Hi.
Hi.
So nice to see you here
Nice
today.
to see you too. Thanks for coming.
What a wonderful place. Tell me about this. You come here often?
I try to get out here as much as possible. It's so beautiful to be outside and in nature and to see parts of Islamabad that normally wouldn't get to see.
Absolutely. And how long have you been horseback riding?
About 1.5 years now.
Oh, so you started here?
Yes, I learned from Oryk here.
Oh, that's
in Islamabad.
amazing. Great. Okay, so let's take a little walk around, shall we?
All right.
So Lashley, tell me, how did you get to Pakistan?
Well, I first came to Pakistan as a tourist,
Really?
which wasn't easy.
Yeah.
It was in 2013, and I had friends who were living here, and they invited me to come. It took a few months and lots of cups of chai with a very bored bureaucrat at the Dubai consulate, but I finally convinced them to give me a visa. I came for a weekend, went hiking, went to Saidpur, had some really nice dinners with
Wow.
friends, and I loved it.
Really?
So when Hashoo Group contacted me a couple of years later for this job, I said yes right away.
So you were in Dubai before you came here, right? What was your perception of Pakistan like before you came here as a tourist? What did you think the country would be like?
I didn't know much about it, but I was always really interested in seeing it. I knew that it was very diverse in terms of having a lot of cultures in one country, and that the population was about the size of the United States.
Yeah.
I knew that was part of it, and that it had been the forefront of the media for a long time because of geopolitical issues. So I didn't really have a lot of preconceived notions. I came with a really open mind.
Yeah, and you weren't scared because back then the situation was a little bit different back in 2013, right?
At the time I was traveling all over the world, Africa, Middle East, and India. I've never really felt scared in this part of the world, and I mean, statistically speaking, I'm from the US, and even my city, Denver, Colorado, has a lot of shootings.
That's true, yeah.
That aren't very targeted at specific people, but they're very horrific and had a lot of casualties. So if we're just talking about numbers, I actually feel quite safe here.
Yeah, that's great. So do you go back home often?
Unfortunately, this is the one thing that I really don't like about living here is the flight schedule is awful.
Yeah.
For getting out of here at a reasonable time of day. And it takes 3 to 4 flights for me to get home, which means 20 to 30 hours of traveling. So when I go once a year for like a long period of time. It's not as easy to just go for a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
so I try to make the most out of my trip and go for a longer time.
Yeah, it is a long way to go. So aside from horseback riding, what other hobbies do you have here?
I'm in a book club. I like to hike.
Great.
The hiking trails are amazing. I also teach Pilates, and so I have a small class that I run in Islamabad, and so I enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, you seem like a very active person.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's enough stuff for you to do here in Islamabad?
Yeah, I think I've been in fitness adjacent to my career for 20 years. In terms of fitness, Islamabad isn't very progressive yet, but I think there's a lot of room in the market for more fitness concepts. People seem to be embracing fitness more here, which is exciting.
Great.
But if you just like to get outdoors, there are so many options. Horseback riding, hiking. I played tennis at 8 in the morning before I did this, so there's always something that you could do outdoors if you're motivated.
Amazing. So what's your favorite thing about Islamabad?
Just look around you. It's the lush green foliage and all the blooms. Right now, this is the best time of year. It's my favorite time of year to be in Islamabad. I think the weather's perfect. And I love all the blooms and blossoms and bright colors everywhere. It's just a gorgeous city in the spring.
Amazing. I'll let you get freshened up and I'll see you there later.
Okay.
I'll see you later then.
Okay.
Okay. Bye. Hey, there you are.
Hi, Maija.
Hey. So, what a wonderful place this is. You like coming here a lot?
Yeah, I think the weather's perfect right now in spring in Islamabad, so it's great to sit outside.
It is. It's not too hot and it's not too cold yet.
Yeah.
So, you work for the Hashoo group, obviously, but this is actually not where your office is, correct? But I'm sure you get to come here quite a lot for your job, is that right?
Yes, I'm here almost every day. It's always great to be in a hotel where the action is, where the customers are, and kind of see how things are going, connect with the team, and just get a feel for what our customers want.
With a lot of foreigners, like directly in your job, who come to Pakistan.
Yeah, we have customers that have businesses, NGOs, embassies that are here and have people visiting them, or they need to have a conference or a meeting, so they use our hotels as well. They're not just overnight guests, but they might be here during the day. Then we have people who use our restaurants and have parties here and celebrate. So yeah, I get to interact with people from all over the place.
And do you feel like there's now more interest towards tourism in Pakistan? Because the government is obviously trying to turn Pakistan into this huge tourism destination.
Yeah, I think the narrative on Pakistan is changing just in general. And then the government is making really progressive steps towards welcoming more people from outside into Pakistan, as well as building up the infrastructure for local tourists, which is also a really important part of the tourism industry in Pakistan. So that is changing, just the awareness, the narrative, and then the initiatives that make tourism more popular are also coming into play.
Yeah. How realistic do you think, though, turning Pakistan into this tourism hub is, let's say, in the next 5 years?
I think that the visa regime still needs some opening up. It needs more liberalizing in order for it to really welcome the high numbers of visitors. But I think Pakistan really can play well as a nice niche destination for specific types of tourism. And so that's where the potential lies.
Yeah, because I think like right now, most of the tourists coming into the country are like, I don't know, like adventure tourists or backpackers, not necessarily people who would be staying here at the Marriott, right?
Well, you'd be surprised at the rich people who like to have adventure vacations as well. So
really?
We're actually in talks with a Spanish group that has very high-end adventure tours that we're interested in partnering with. A lot of people are into mountaineering in the elite circles, and Pakistan has some pretty incredible mountains. So that's not a cheap sport.
Yeah.
So it does attract the backpackers who like just kind of the rough and tumble way of kind of bouncing around Pakistan, but it also attracts really elite tourists that are in for that really special adventure that's so unique that you can't find other places in the world. And for a lot of people, that's what luxury is something that's truly unique, and Pakistan offers that.
That's so interesting. I never thought there would be like this kind of a niche thing going on here. Wow. And when we think about these areas where these tourists would be traveling, because obviously they're not going to be staying here in Islamabad the whole time, they would want to go up to the northern areas or like wherever, outside the cities. Is there infrastructure there right now, or is that something that still needs to be developed?
Yeah, that's something that's under development. We've had a lot of tourism summits and events lately, and that has been a very lively topic of discussion. the infrastructure ready for an increase in tourism, especially as you go north from Islamabad. And I know that, for example, the Minister of Tourism for KP, Atif Khan, is very passionate about increasing the number of tuck shops and clean toilets for travelers. And all of those things are really important part of developing tourism. You know, people think that infrastructure just means roads, but it means mobile signals, means Wi-Fi connectivity, it means tuck shops, it means places to buy a Coca-Cola if your car's sick, or go to the bathroom and have something be very clean and welcoming for you.
But what about security? Because, you know, obviously we are here now sitting in Marriott, which was unfortunately bombed 10 years ago. But I think a lot of foreigners would still have that image in their minds when they come here that, you know, Pakistan is a dangerous country and oh my God, this hotel was bombed. Do you think they still, like when they come here, do they still remember that, and are they still worried about these issues?
You know, iconic places always make popular targets for people who want to tarnish the image of a country or cause problems. But it's been 10 years, like you said, and things have improved a lot. And all people have to do is come to Pakistan and see how safe it feels, how friendly people are, and that we've really moved on, and that people feel safe. You know, we're part of the Marriott chain. We follow very strict security protocols here to maintain that level of security and make sure that our guests are safe while they're here. And we have the utmost confidence in those systems. We are very confident about just the general environment in Islamabad and in the rest of the country. We've seen how it's impacted our business in a very positive way. And I think that that is radiating out into the common narrative about Pakistan being a more welcoming place for people.
Yeah, that's excellent. And I remember when I went to Peshawar, I had a meeting there, I don't know, a few years ago. We had the meeting at Pearl Continental, obviously. I've never seen so much security in my life, so it's literally true what you're saying. Is that level of security there still, or have they kind of figured like, oh, we don't need that much security anymore?
Yeah, we still maintain a high level of security just because Peshawar has always been one of those cities where people need to be vigilant because of its proximity to the border and because of the kind of customers that we have. When people come from other cities, they want to feel safe in Peshawar. It's a beautiful hotel, it's well fortified, like you said, and you know, that feeling of safety is more than just the security guards that are around and the barriers. It's actually just, I think, the very welcoming nature of the people there as well that make you feel safe and secure, and that's kind of part of the joy of Peshawar.
You have a very busy life here and you're always traveling to different cities. Where does your job take you here?
My job takes me all over Pakistan. You know, we have hotels all in Gwadar and Karachi, all the way up to Peshawar and Muzaffarabad in the north. We're opening a new hotel with Malam Jebba. We're really excited about that. In Swat,
wow.
Yes. And we have a second hotel in Peshawar coming up, one in Mirpur, Multan. But we have hotels already in so many places, so I have to visit each one of those. I need to know what the market is like there, and I need to know what the property is like so that I can help sell it.
Yeah, so then you have really gotten to see all kinds of different parts of Pakistan. Where have you been? Like you mentioned, you've obviously been to all those cities that you just mentioned, but what is your favorite place in the country? You
know, people laugh at me because they think that I would say Bourbon, but I'm actually from the mountains, so it doesn't do anything for me. It's not as special. Snow is normal and the mountains are normal. I love Peshawar.
You do?
It's a very unexpected response that people never would expect me to say, but I always feel really happy when I go to that city. I think it has a very special feeling to it. I love the culture, the Pathan culture. I love the food in Peshawar. It's fantastic. I love the shinwari, lots of meat, more meat, and extra meat. But yeah, it's really great. In fact, my parents came to visit me here, and I took them there, and they loved it. They had a great time.
That's amazing. And what's your favorite place in Peshawar?
Well, apart from the Pearl Continental, where the staff are obviously very sweet and we have a great restaurant, I would say it's the bazaar, in the center of town. I've actually never seen my father happier in his entire life than when I looked over at him sitting in the car in the crowded streets of the Khisikhwani Bazaar, and he just had this huge grin just filling his whole face, and I've never seen him that expressive, and it was just amazing, just all the people and the history, and I loved it. It was great.
That sounds amazing. I have to still go to Peshawar properly, aside from, although it was wonderful, Pearl Continental, but I have to see the culture there still. And you never felt like there were any security issues for there in the city?
No, you know, I think there's something special about the Pathan culture that if my driver's Pathan and I feel very safe. He told me never to worry about my safety when I'm in KP, when I'm with him. So I believe that, and when I'm with locals there in Peshawar, I feel completely taken care of. But you know, people are very friendly, they're very welcoming. I think things have really improved. I think there were serious issues there several years ago, but that has changed, and the city is lively, and companies are looking to invest. We've hosted big events for the Chinese government there and for Chinese businesses. And so we really see a lot of change happening in Peshawar, and I feel great there.
That's amazing. And what about, have you been to Gwadar?
I have been to Gwadar. I go there several times a year to see our hotel. Our hotel there is beautiful. It's overlooking the Hammerhead, which is this gorgeous stretch of land that kind of reaches out into the sea. You can see directly to the South Pole from that point of land. It's really a remarkable part of the world. Gwadar is a very charming, very sleepy village. It's really mind-boggling to imagine it turning into a mega city that the plans are. But there's a lot of natural beauty, and the people seem like they're ready for something new, and they're open to change. It's really hard to imagine things being different because it's not a modern city yet. But the potential there is really incredible, and I think that it is really an exciting area for Pakistan to really showcase the richness that it has and to open it up to the rest of the world.
That's amazing. You mentioned that you really like Pashtun food. So what's your favorite restaurant in Islamabad?
Well, it's actually more Punjabi style. It's Chattas in F10. I love it. I love it so much that if I'm away from Pakistan for more than a week, I crave it so much that I go right there the first night I'm back in town.
Okay, it's time to take a short break now. I'll see you in a bit. Welcome back. We've reached Chatta, so let's go have some dinner. Well, it's a pretty amazing place. So why did you choose this one? Why is it your favorite place in Islamabad?
Well, I love Chattas because it's a street food concept, and normally in Pakistan you'd have to go from little shop to get all of the different specialties, but here he has everything.
Right.
And it's all amazing.
That sounds great. So what's your favorite Pakistani dish then?
Well, I love paratha. I love pata tikka as well. They don't serve that here, but what they do serve that I love is the mutton handi. It's unbelievable. I have it once a week.
Have you tried any of the biryanis, the regional varieties, like in Karachi and in different cities?
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love biryani. I also like breakfast, and breakfast here is particularly good, and aloo bhuja is like one of my favorite things.
So I'm gonna let you recommend something then if you come here that often, huh?
I know this menu quite well.
Thank you. So what would you recommend then?
Well, I love the desi ghee mutton handi. The achari chicken handi is really amazing as well. Mm-hmm. And if you like barbecue, the malai boti is delicious here.
I think I'm gonna go with the makhani chicken handi though. That's one of my favorites, and I'll have it with the whole wheat roti. That sounds very healthy.
I'm gonna do the mutton handi, and you know I like paratha with my handi. I know it's a little strange, but it's a special treat. The paratha here is amazing, so.
Can't wait. So, do you have a cook or a maid who cooks for you, or do you cook yourself here in Pakistan?
I actually cook myself. Because it's just me, having a cook just seems pretty impractical. I think it'd be more work for me, actually. Yeah. I'm pretty easy. I cook for myself, and I also get the benefit of being able to eat at the Marriott for lunch. So
oh yeah, that's amazing.
Dinner by myself.
Oh, you know, I remember I used to love going for these breakfasts at Marriott. I'm sure they still do it. This amazing like breakfast buffet there. That's amazing. But do you like Western food more or Pakistani?
I love Pakistani food. I told you I crave it when I'm not in the country, and I have a taste for it when I come back. I miss certain things about American food, but I definitely like the food here. It's one of the best parts of Pakistan.
Yeah. And you do have quite a lot of American brands here, like fast food brands, like, I don't know, McDonald's and whatever you have. Do you often go to those, like whenever you miss the US, or?
No, because I don't eat those at home either. What I miss the most is Mexican food, and that's one thing that's really hard to find outside of Mexico and the United States.
True. Yeah. So besides food, what else do you miss about back home?
Family, obviously. I have a big family, and so I miss seeing especially my nieces and nephews because they're small, and but thank goodness for WhatsApp and Skype. I can chat with them often. I miss NBA basketball. I love basketball, and it comes on at a terrible time here for me to really keep track of the games in live. But I also miss the rodeo because I'm from the West and I love the rodeo, but I discovered bull racing here in Pakistan.
Oh my God, that's a thing?
Yeah, bull racing here is very different from bull riding in the States, which is my favorite sport. But it gives me that kind of satisfaction. It feels like home. In fact, I've gone out to Fateh Jang a few times to watch the bull racing, like the only Westerner, the only lady, standing on top of a pickup truck, watching just thousands of people cheer for the bull races, and it was amazing, and it really felt like home to me.
Seriously, no, that sounds amazing. Can you, like, how do they do it actually? Like, they just have these bulls?
So they
racing?
have two bulls yoked together, and then one rider behind them on this metal disc that they stand on, and they hold on, almost like water skiing, for lack of a better description. And it's on a dirt road that's been cleared for the CPEC route, which is hilarious. And there are just thousands of people along the road, and they shoot the gun and the bulls just take off running so fast, and the guy is just holding on behind them and kind of prodding them with a sharp stick behind them, and they just go as fast as possible. It's crazy.
That just sounds like one of those things that you can only find in Pakistan. Wow. So now it seems like you have gotten the chance to interact with quite a lot of Pakistanis, and you're not just stuck here in this bubble of Islamabad. So as an American, how have people received you? Have they like had any reservations about you being from the US because of all the politics, or how has it been?
You know, around the world, that's never been a problem for me. People are always very sweet and kind one-on-one, despite whatever politics are happening at the time. But in Pakistan especially, people are extremely welcoming. They're so delighted to have foreigners here in their country. They welcome me with open arms. They're so interested in my family and what I like about Pakistan. So it's been a really amazing experience.
Seriously, wow, that's amazing. And do you, like, how is your social life here? Do you have a lot of friends who invite you over? How is that? How has that been different from like Dubai, for example, here?
My boss who grew up here loves to tease me that I have more friends than him in Pakistan, but I was really fortunate. I came here as a tourist first in 2013, and I met some incredible people in Islamabad who are still here, and they kind of formed the core of my group of friends that I have. They're, you know, young Pakistanis that have young families, or they're young professionals, and so I get to socialize with them and really get a good insight into kind of more of the local perspective and not just in a bubble of expats.
Exactly, that's amazing, because I think that's one of the most important things when you come here is to really get to interact with the locals here, and that's really part of the experience that makes it so interesting here, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I didn't come to Pakistan to live in the diplomatic enclave and only socialize with Americans. That's definitely not why I decided to take a job and live here. So I live in the city, I have a house, I have friends, and I'm really connected to the community in that way.
So have you been here during Ramadan?
I have, yeah.
How has that been? Have you been invited to all these iftar dinners, or has it been kind of like a, oh, look at that, our food is here. Yeah.
Yeah, Ramadan is social. In the hospitality business, we host a lot of iftaris for people. And I have been invited to people's homes. They're very generous and kind to invite me. I lived in Dubai and Tunisia, so I've experienced Ramadan in several countries. I don't think it's as festive here as it is in other places. It seems to be a quieter month here than I've experienced in other countries, but it's nice.
Yeah. Great. I think this is your paratha, so let's switch.
There you go.
Awesome. So I can't wait to try. Which one is which?
So this is the chicken, and then this is the mutton.
Great. So let's start trying. Can't wait. This looks absolutely delicious. I'll just give you this. But yeah, speaking of Ramadan, do you find it challenging here? Or do you prefer to leave the country during Ramadan?
No, I think it's a good time to be productive at work.
That's true.
Shorter working hours, so it's a little bit less stressful. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think it's a fine time to be in the country.
That's also one way of looking at it. But what about other issues? Have you faced any challenges here, or has it been difficult to adjust to this country? Because coming from the West, it can be a little bit restricting, at least for women sometimes, I think.
Yeah, I definitely feel like my life is quite constricted here compared to what I'm used to. I have to think about things a lot more than I would in other places that I've lived where I didn't have to be as conscious. I have a desire to be respectful to local customs and cultures. I don't want to be obnoxious. I want to show my respect. I'm a guest in this country. So I am pretty conscientious about what I wear and where I go and what I do. So that takes energy. Yeah. When I leave my front door, sometimes, I'm thinking like, oh, am I covered enough? Yeah. Like, my guards, are they comfortable seeing me like this, with my shoulders showing or something? And so that just takes like extra effort. Yeah. And that's where I feel restricted. I love to run. I'm a runner. I'm used to hiking. I can't go by myself.
Right.
I'd probably be okay, but it's probably not the best thing to do. And so I always have to be with somebody. Yeah. And so I think that's where my life feels a little bit more constricted.
Yeah. But then on the other hand, there are a lot of activities here as well that you wouldn't necessarily expect, right? Like, did you expect that you would be able to go hiking here even when you first came here?
Well, that's the first thing I did when I visited as a tourist. I went for a hike, which was something I knew about Islamabad, and coming from Colorado, I knew that would be something that I'd enjoy, and I was really happy that that's available in Islamabad. So it always surprises my friends back home that I'm out hiking and that it's so accessible and so easy to get to the trails.
Yeah, that's true, because I feel like some people still think that Pakistan is like Afghanistan, where none of this would be possible. Even us sitting here like without a headscarf on, and there's still this perception of Pakistan being exactly like that place. So yeah, these things are very surprising for some people. And I just wanted to ask you, what was the most surprising thing for you about Pakistan?
I think it's not really related to social. I was surprised that people argued with me at work.
Oh yeah?
I thought that the culture would be so hierarchical that nobody would interrupt or argue with me. There are other cultures in the region where that wouldn't happen. And so I noticed that the first day in my jet-lagged kind of stupor at work that people were interrupting, which I don't like, but that they were arguing with me. And I was really happy about that, actually, that my team was confident enough to express themselves and to express what they think is a different opinion from mine. And so I like that kind of discourse at work. I don't like interruptions, and I don't tolerate that because I think that's impolite. But I did like that my team was willing to, have a healthy discussion about things. So that was something that actually surprised me.
Oh, this is really good though. It's amazing. How's your paratha?
It's the best in town. Look at that.
Wow, sounds amazing.
It's so amazing. It's so flaky, and it's made with organic ghee, organic flour. I buy my ghee from here. It's incredible.
Yeah? Oh yeah, they sell like...
they sell organic ghee here.
Oh, wow. And that's become like a huge health thing in the West.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's very trendy right now.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be like healthier than, I don't know, any other oil or butter or whatever. Yeah. So what do you normally have for breakfast when you can't get a paratha?
If I don't come here and have a full breakfast, I just have a really simple breakfast because I like to exercise in the morning. So I just have fresh orange juice.
Great.
With a little bit of salt and collagen in it. And then I'll have a small meal like later in the day because I like to work out in the morning, and so I don't like to have a big meal before that.
So it sounds like you lead a very healthy lifestyle then. Wow. So sometimes that must be a little bit difficult here though with all the oil in the food, right?
Yeah, I have my favorite places, and that's why I like this place so much, because I know that they're using ghee and really natural ingredients. They're not just dumping oil on the food. So I like that. Yeah, there's a way to kind of eat around those kinds of things, choose more barbecue dishes, and
absolutely.
There's definitely a way to avoid it, but sometimes you can't.
So what's your favorite story to tell about Pakistan to your friends back home?
I use a picture to show it. It's a screenshot of a conversation I was having with my best friend. She lives in Los Angeles. She was at a movie premiere on the red carpet with celebrities in Hollywood. And she sent me a photo and she said, "Oh, this is what I'm doing right now. I wish you were here."
Oh, wow.
And I was in Gwadar in a dusty road with 3 lead cars of armed guards in front of me and 2 follow cars behind, goats on the side of the road and handmade boats on the other. And I sent her a picture of that and said, "This is where I am right now. I wish you were here too." So it's just that contrast is always just so stark and so shocking for people who haven't been here.
And it makes it kind of fun too, right?
It does. It's an adventure, that's for sure.
That's for sure, yeah. Okay, so we've almost reached the end of our program, and I would like to ask you to please sign our guest book.
Okay.
So let me just open it for you. Shall we make a move?
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, Lashley, for this lovely day. I had an amazing time. I hope you did as well.
Thank you.
Okay, see you soon. Bye. So that's it for today. Please join me again next week. Good night.